The late afternoon sun paints the streets of Manila in gold as Arvin, a thin, barefoot 16-year-old boy, stands beneath a flickering lamppost clutching his old violin. The strings are frayed, the wood scratched, yet when his bow touches the strings, magic happens. The melody of "Nearer My God to Thee" flows like a soft prayer through the chaos of the city, past jeepneys honking, vendors shouting, and children laughing. Slowly, the noise fades. People begin to stop and listen. Beside Arvin lies a small box with only a few coins and a framed photo of his late mother, a smiling woman holding a violin. Every note he plays carries her memory, her lessons, and her love. His mother had taught him that music could heal even the deepest wounds. Since her passing, this street corner has become his sanctuary, his stage and his chapel. As he plays, an old man whispers, "That boy plays from the soul." A foreign tourist, filming on her phone, is moved to tears. The sound is raw, divine, as if heaven itself listens. When Arvin finishes, the crowd applauds softly, leaving small bills and blessings in his box. He bows humbly, eyes shining with gratitude. That night, at a small internet cafe, Arvin watches the tourist's video uploaded online. He sees himself on the screen, hears his own trembling notes, and smiles. Within hours, the view count climbs, thousands, then millions. Comments pour in from around the world. "This is what pure music sounds like. Someone take him to AGT." Then, as he refreshes the page, an email notification appears. His hands tremble as he reads the words. "Congratulations, Arvin. You are invited to audition for America's Got Talent 2025. The plane lands at Los Angeles International Airport, and Arvin presses his forehead against the window, staring at the glowing skyline. It's his first time leaving the Philippines, his first time on an airplane. Clutching his violin case like it's part of him, he steps out into a world that feels impossibly big. The cold air hits his face, and for a moment, he closes his eyes, whispering a small prayer of thanks. Outside the airport, taxis and buses rush past. Everything feels fast, bright, and loud, so different from the streets of Manila. Arvin's heart beats with both fear and excitement. He finds his way to a modest motel near downtown, the cheapest one he could book. The room is small and quiet, with a single bed and a cracked mirror. But to Arvin, it feels like a dream, a place where miracles could begin. That night, he unpacks his violin and places his mother's photo on the bedside table. He kneels and whispers, "Mama, we're here." Then he lifts his violin and begins to play, "Nearer My God to Thee." The sound fills the tiny room, soft and trembling. It's not a performance, it's a prayer of courage. In the days that follow, Arvin practices in a nearby park, attracting curious onlookers. Some smile, some drop coins, some simply listen in awe. One elderly woman tells him, "You have a gift from heaven." The night before his audition, Arvin stands before the motel mirror, wearing a simple white shirt and black pants, freshly washed and ironed. He holds his violin close and whispers, "No matter what happens, I'll play for you, Mama." As the city lights shimmer outside, the young violinist from Manila prepares to meet his destiny. The next morning, Arvin arrives at the America's Got Talent studio, his heart racing faster than ever. The giant stage lights, the cameras, the crowd, everything feels surreal. He clutches his violin case tightly, watching other contestants warm up with confidence. For a moment, he feels small, lost among all the glitter and noise. When his name is finally called, the stage door opens. Arvin steps into the blinding light, greeted by the cheers of the live audience. The four judges, Simon Cowell, Heidi Klum, Howie Mandel, and Sofia Vergara, sit before him, curious. Simon leans forward, squinting slightly. "Hello there. What's your name, and where are you from?" Arvin's voice trembles but remains steady. "My name is Arvin, and I'm from the Philippines." His accent draws warm smiles from the audience. Simon asks, "And what will you be doing for us today?" "I'll be playing the violin, a song called, Nearer, My God, to Thee." Simon nods quietly. The room falls into silence. Arvin closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, and raises his bow. The first note pierces the air, pure, fragile, heavenly. The melody flows like a whisper from his heart, echoing through the hall. The audience leans in, captivated. Each stroke tells a story, of loss, love, and faith. Midway through the piece, the big screen behind him flickers to life, showing a faded picture of Arvin with his mother, smiling under a mango tree with the same violin. Gasps fill the crowd. Tears shimmer in Arvin's eyes, but he doesn't stop playing. When the last note fades, silence covers the room, deep, sacred, and full of awe. Even Simon sits motionless, his eyes glistening. Then, slowly, the entire audience rises to their feet in applause. The applause thunders through the theater, but Simon Cowell doesn't clap right away. He sits perfectly still, eyes glistening, lips pressed together. For a man known for his sharp critiques and calm composure, this moment feels different. He blinks a few times, fighting the emotion rising inside him. The other judges glance at him, sensing something deeper happening. On stage, Arvin stands motionless, violin trembling in his hands. He doesn't know whether to smile or cry. The audience is still standing, some wiping tears, others holding their hearts. Even Heidi dabs at her eyes, whispering, "That was beautiful." Simon finally leans toward the microphone, his voice low and heavy with emotion. "Arvin," he pauses, clearing his throat. "I've heard thousands of musicians in my life, but what you just did, that wasn't just playing the violin. That was a prayer." The crowd falls silent again. Simon looks down briefly, then back up at Arvin, his eyes red. "When you started, I thought, here's another violinist. But the way you played, it reached somewhere deep. I could feel your heart, your loss, your faith." Tears finally spill down Simon's cheeks. Cameras zoom in as he wipes his eyes, trying to smile. "That song, it reminded me of my own mom. You made me remember what really matters." Arvin lowers his head, whispering softly into the microphone, "I played it for my mother too, sir." A quiet gasp ripples through the crowd. The two share a wordless connection, a moment so raw it transcends language. For a few seconds, the studio feels like a church. No music, no words, just emotion. And in that sacred silence, Simon Cowell, the world's toughest judge, breaks down in tears. The studio remains still after Simon's heartfelt words. The audience, judges, and cameras seem frozen in time, all eyes locked on Arvin, who stands under the soft glow of the stage lights, violin clutched tightly to his chest. Tears shimmer on his cheeks, but there's a calm peace in his expression, as if he's already said everything he needed to through his music. Then Simon stands up slowly. The crowd begins to murmur, sensing what's about to happen. He looks at Arvin with a tender, almost fatherly gaze. "Arvin," Simon says, his voice cracking slightly, "you came all the way from the Philippines, with a story, a song, and a heart that spoke to every single person here tonight. That wasn't just an audition, that was a blessing." The crowd roars in agreement. Arvin covers his mouth in disbelief, his small body trembling. Simon continues, "Your mother would be so proud of you, and I think she's watching right now." He glances up toward the ceiling, then looks back at Arvin. "For her, and for you." Simon reaches out, and slams the golden buzzer. Instantly, the theater explodes in golden confetti. The music swells, the lights shimmer, and the audience leaps to their feet in cheers. Arvin falls to his knees, overwhelmed, clutching his violin as tears pour down his face. He looks upward through the falling gold, whispering, "We did it, Mama, we did it." Simon walks onto the stage, placing a comforting hand on Arvin's shoulder. The two share a silent, emotional smile, no words needed. As the camera zooms out, the image freezes, a young Filipino violinist bathed in gold, his prayer answered, his mother's dream fulfilled. A boy from the streets of Manila had just touched the world.